Talking about eating behaviours is so boring, so you should probably click off this video now, unless you want to lose more body fat, of course. To get in amazing shape, you really need 4 main things, and that is to start weight training, to have a sustainable nutrition plan, to get good sleep, and then to stay consistent and build momentum on those 3 things. Just a quick reminder, don't forget to stay until the end of this video because I'm going to share some bonus tips that are going to really help you out, help you lose some more body fat, but that's going to be at the end of the video. So I said about being consistent, and how we be consistent is we build habits. So we have the 3 things we spoke about, the nutrition, the training, the sleep. We have to stay consistent with that and build momentum, and we do that by building habits. Wow. Habits are things like brushing your teeth, for instance, having a shower in the morning. Habits are not necessarily fun or enjoyable, such as, like I said, brushing your teeth, but you still get up every morning and hopefully brush your teeth, and you do that because you know it's important, you know it's the right thing to do. It's not necessarily fun, but you have to do it anyway. When I was 15, 16 years old and I got into this whole fitness thing, my friends would come home from school and they would spend their time what I used to do, which was playing FIFA, I love football, and playing GTA, playing the Xbox, having a good time. But when I got to about 16 years old, I would come home, I would read every study I could, every book I could on fitness, nutrition, diet, anything I could find on training. I would read, I would watch videos on YouTube, whether it be back in the old days of the Mike Cheng.
What's up guys, it's Mike Cheng of sixpackshortcuts.com.
Or Scooby's Fitness.
To out-eat your cardio.
It didn't matter what it was, I would consume it. I wanted to know everything I could. I had information overload, and I learned a lot of valuable things, what to do and what not to do, and that's helped me in my coaching today. However, I still failed. Having all that information, I failed badly because, and this was for years, I would fail on my nutrition in particular, because I would know how to track every single calorie. I would know how many macronutrients is in each food just off the top of my head. I would know exactly what time to eat, what meal to get the perfect anabolic response for muscle building. I would time everything, I would track everything, and unfortunately I would fail, and that's because it's not sustainable, and I couldn't create habits around those things because there are so many different things. I couldn't create habits around those things. The reason I bring that up is to say that habits have to be easy, like brushing your teeth. It's very easy. It's hard to have complicated, more sophisticated habits, and a lot of them. It doesn't really work. When I was really struggling with these things, it was really overwhelming and frustrating for me because I knew that I had more information than almost anybody. Like if I would meet somebody and maybe the guy's been training 20 years and doing all his nutrition and everything, I knew more science, I knew all the facts as a 16, 17-year-old kid than he did. I knew all the information, but I couldn't piece it together and get the results, and it was really frustrating, and it made me feel like giving up many times. The breakthrough moment that I had is when I started to simplify these habits. So the first thing that I did, and I still use this today, is I started eating just 3 meals a day, no snacks, and I would do intermittent fasting. Now I want you to do this, but you don't have to do intermittent fasting. I recommend you give it a try. If it's not for you, that's cool. I'm not one of these guys that think you have to do everything the way that I do things. But give it a try. So for instance, I would wake up at 6 a.m. and I would push my first meal back until around 4 or 5 hours into the day. So maybe 10 a.m, 11 a.m. Then I would eat my first meal. So I've got that 4 or 5 hours of fasting in, which is going to help autophagy. It's going to activate the sympathetic nervous system. It's going to give you more energy. It's going to help you lose more body fat. This is not a video about fasting, but fasting has so many benefits. I would eat my first meal around 11 a.m. Then I would wait until around 3 p.m. to have my next meal, and then again at 8 p.m, just 3 meals. Of course, these meals have to have enough calories for whatever your goals are, but this simplified habit made it very, very easy for me to stick to my nutrition plan because I'm eating foods that I enjoy. I'm just eating 3 meals a day, very simple, and I'm eating those meals around the same time. It's very, very difficult to go wrong, and it's not interfering with my life. What I recommend that you do when you are starting this is just, once again, keep everything simple. So Cook all of your meals on a Sunday. That's going to help you even further sustain those habits, and eat sort of the same foods, at least just for a few weeks. You don't have to eat the same foods for the rest of your life, but try to eat the same kinds of meals. Maybe you have the same thing when you have your first meal and your last meal, and maybe you change the one in the middle, just to start with, so you know, right, every day this week I'm going to have a protein shake and a bowl of fruit. That's my first meal of the day. Your last meal of the day might be steak and eggs. That's the same every day. And then of course you can start to change things around, but prep all of those meals on a Sunday. That's a day we tend to be the least busy. It takes just 1, 2, 3 hours, whatever, to prep all those meals, and then all you do is take one out the fridge, take one out the freezer every day. You've got yourself a meal. It's not difficult, it's not challenging, and it creates a habit that is easy to follow. I've got 2 really good bonus tips for you for staying till the end of this video. The first one is make sure you consider the types of food you're eating, and of course we're going to be building this slowly, not trying to do everything all at once. But if you're eating a lot of cereals, refined carbohydrates and sugars, then your time in between the first meal and second meal might be 3 or 4 hours, and you're going to be really hungry eating those types of foods. If you're eating high protein foods, high fibre foods, things like steak, eggs, oats, those types of foods, and maybe some green leafy vegetables, if you can find a way to fit those into your diet as well, I like to do that. They're going to keep you fuller for longer, meaning when you get to that next meal you're not starving. The other thing is a behavioural change that you need to make. A lot of people are not okay being hungry. Now, you shouldn't be hungry to the point that you're losing loads and loads of weight. That's not what I'm saying. But as soon as someone gets any type of hunger, they go straight and get something to eat. But if you read any studies and listen to any of the experts, you'll actually realise that you should be hungry. It's healthy to be hungry for a small portion of the day. What I do is, if I'm hungry, I'll have a glass of water and I'll go and do a project. For me, I'll probably be working on a video, or I'm always working on something to do with music. For you, you might want to go and play some video games for 10 minutes. You might play an instrument, you might read a book. It doesn't matter what that thing is, but have a glass of water and go and do that activity. And what you'll find is that you wasn't really hungry anyway. Within 10 minutes of being indulged in this task, all of a sudden you forgot that you was hungry and you'll be ready to go to that next meal. So it's a mindset thing. The next video that all of you should go and watch next is the only 3 ways to lose weight. I'm assuming that most of you do want to lose more body fat, and I want to educate you in the only 3 ways there are to lose weight that's going to help you on your journey.